Hey YouTube land, it's Tykander here doing another action figure review. Now this is somewhat of an older figure. I believe he was made in 2009, I could be wrong, but this is one I picked up recently. I've been trying to hunt one down for quite a while at a reasonable price, and I managed to find one. And what this is made by Mezco. Now you might be familiar with Mezco with their kind of more newer stuff, which is they've done the Judge Dredd figures, which were in 1:12 scale or 6-inch scale figures. They've done a few other lines in 6-inch. They did dabble in a few in 3 3/4 inch figures, and this is one of them. And what this line is, it's quite an old line from their Cinema of Fear stuff. So it's basically based on horror movie characters. So you had, I do have another one. I can't remember if I did a review for him. It's been a long time since I had them all in one place, all these accessories. But they did do a Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Did Jason, which is this guy. He also did Freddy from Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street. I can't remember off the top of my head if they did a Michael Myers one. I have a feeling they did, because I think they did all the kind of, 3 or 4 big main horror movie, slasher movie style characters, and this is one of them. Now, unfortunately, I got him loose without a box, but if I remember correctly, it came in a sort of a window box packaging. There is, if you're hunting for one on eBay, and you put in Cinema of Fear, there you do get quite a lot of hits. Now, they did a 6-inch, I think it was 6-inch or 7-inch line as well, and they also did this 3 3/4 inch. There is 2 versions of Jason here that I'm aware of. This is the standard release one. They also did a limited edition San Diego Comic-Con one with a glow-in-the-dark mask, but I do not believe this is that one. At least the seller didn't list it as it. I think it also has more blood splatter on him as well for the San Diego Comic-Con one. So, as you can see, you have a base. I do believe it's 2009 because MT 2009 seems to indicate Mezco Toys 2009. He has a pretty plain base. He doesn't have like a movie logo or anything on it, but it is splattered with this red paint to simulate a blood effect. As his signature trademark machete, it has blood splatter going down all one side of the blade. He can hold it quite nicely in his right hand. His left hand is in an open grasping kind of thing, so he doesn't really hold anything too well in that. But he does come with another accessory, which is this fire axe. So he can hold that in that hand, and then you can get him to sort of hold it in the other hand and have him kind of wielding it two-handed. It doesn't exactly stay in place, it just kind of sits in the hand, but it will spring out if you don't put it right. But you can get him to kind of hold it in two-handed poses. He's quite a cool little figure. Now I'll measure him up there in a minute. I'll just go through his articulation first. Now these figures had some a good articulation for their time. So the hands can go out that much. Can rotate all the way around. He does have a swivel at the elbow and a little less than 90-degree bend on the elbow. Swivel in the wrist. Same on the opposite side. You can get him doing kind of grabbing poses. His head is on a ball joint. He does actually sport the removable mask, so you can see the gruesome Jason face underneath. His head, if we just take the mask off, the ball joint is just here under the base of the neck. His top is actually quite a solid sculpt, but there is a waist swivel, but it's very tight because of the way this is sculpted. He does have hinges, ball hinge on the leg, so he can do splits that much, forward that much, back that much, single jointed knee, and he does have a swivel in the foot, but it is hindered by the sculpting of the pants. And I think he's supposed to have a hinge as well, but it's again hindered by that pants sculpt. So scale wise, I just move him back here and bring in my measuring tape. He stands just around the 4-inch scale, so that would put him in scale with such figures such as the Fortnite figures, even though Jason is supposed to be quite taller. I would say he's more in scale with a 3¼ inch, given that he's 4-inch scale, or 4-inch in measurement, and he's supposed to be kind of taller than most people. So here he is with Al and Bud from the Funko Married with Children line. And then just for another 3¼ inch, 4-inch scale figure, here he is with the, sorry, I'm moving my hand out of the way, the Hudson from the Hiya Toys Colonial Marines line. So he does scale up quite well with all those figures. He's quite a good figure. As I said, the line is quite old, 2009, so it's nearly 10 years old now. Just over, I think, isn't it? As we're just rolling into 2020 at the time of this recording. It's January 1st, 2020, so, you know, this guy is just a little bit around 10 years old, which isn't too bad. So overall, he's quite a good figure. I do recommend picking one of them up if you can get them at reasonable prices. Sorry. He does tend to be, some people tend to sell him in and around the 70 mark, which I think is far too much. I managed to get this guy around the 20-ish mark, so if you can find him for that, I'd say go for it. Or if you can find the whole set is quite nice as well. They all have similar articulation, just the sculpting is different. The Leatherface one, his body is a bit more chunky, and his legs are kind of more in a crouch position, but overall they are pretty good figures. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this quick video review of the vintage classic 2009 Jason Voorhees figure from Friday the 13th. I'm not entirely sure which Friday the 13th part he's from. I remember I think it's like the 3rd or 4th one is when he got the battle damage on his mask with the axe on the top of the head. So I think it's from either part 3 or part 4. I could be wrong. I can't remember off the top of my head which version it is. But overall, it's the only sort of 3¾ articulated version of Jason figure I'm aware of. I know Funko do their own one, which is kind of the 5 points of articulation. He doesn't have all the articulation as this one does, but as far as I know, he's the only one in 3¼ inch that I'm aware of. So if there's anyone out there watching these videos that knows differently, please feel free to comment in the comment section if there's another one that's in this scale. But all the other ones I think are all in between 5 to 7 inch scale that I'm aware of, and all the way up to 1 to 6, which is 12-inch figures as well. So there you go, guys. Sorry if I waffled on a bit there at the end, but I hope you enjoyed this video review, and as I say in my videos, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe to my channel to help my channel grow. Cheers, guys.